Welcome to Zoe Stories. The outfit that transformed my world. They say the smallest thing can change your life. For me, that small thing was an outfit folded in the back of a charity shop box and a thread of courage I did not know I had. The night I found it, I was tired in a way that felt permanent. Work had ground me down. My name is Erin, and by day I am ordinary. The kind of ordinary that people trust. I answer emails, take calls, fix problems, and keep my head down. I work in data security for a mid-sized firm. Numbers and protocols are my safe place. Secrets are my job. Secrets are my life. At night I become someone else. Not a different person exactly, but a truer version of myself slipped on like silk. Crossdressing started as a private relief, a place where I could breathe in a different shape. At first it was a dare from a friend, then an experiment, then an obsession. Clothes taught me new language. Makeup taught me how to control light. Heels taught me how to walk through the world on a different kind of balance. It felt wrong and right at the same time. Shame and thrill braided together until I could not tell which thread led which way. Isabella knows parts of me and none of me. She is beautiful in the way dangerous things are beautiful. Sharp, sure of herself, warm only when she chooses to be. We met through friends and fell into a relationship that fit like a hand in a glove. She is a copywriter with a laugh that undercuts every serious moment she walks into. She believes in honesty mostly, and in the performance of being honest when it suits her. With Isabella, the first have been honest enough to build trust and secretive enough to keep my private nights private. That balance has held until now. Our apartment is small and neat like a stage set. Isabella loves plants and scented candles. I love the way she arranges pillows and the way books make a messy skyline in the living room. The city sits beyond our windows, loud and indifferent. The apartment has been my refuge and my trap. There are 2 closets in our bedroom and only one has my life stored inside. Her clothes hang soft and proud. Mine are folded precise like armor. Between those fabrics I live a double life, and every morning I fold one version away to put on the other. I am not glamorous. I do not have the confidence of people who were born performing. My transformation is clumsy and intimate, a ritual performed in the low light of the bathroom with music turned low and hands that tremble in places no one sees. I paint my face like I translate myself. Lipstick is punctuation, mascara is a promise. When I look in the mirror I watch the shadowed edges soften, and sometimes I like what I see more than I thought possible. Other times the mirror returns the same person I started with and the craving hurts. Work makes secrecy necessary in another way. At my company, trust is currency and rumors are dangerous. I manage systems that keep other people's secrets safe. The irony is a quiet joke that I repeat only to myself. If anyone at work suspected the nights I live, they would see me differently. I have learned to compartmentalize. I can be precise and cold in a boardroom and then tender and foolish in the dark. It has worked because I have always been careful. Until I was not. The outfit that changed my world did not look like much when I pulled it from the box. A faded navy dress with a neckline that was modest and wrong in the best way. It fit as if it remembered a body that was softer than mine. The fabric slid against my skin and something inside me listened. I had meant to buy it for the thrill of buying something secret in public. I wanted a memory of my secret that did not come from a drawer. I stepped out of the charity shop with the paper bag pressed to my chest and the city raining neon at my shoulders. I felt like a thief who had taken something pure by mistake. That night Isabella had plans with friends. She kissed me quick by the door, said she loved me, and left with lipstick still visible on her teeth. Her goodbye was an invitation and an escape. I waited until the sound of her door closed, then I became selfish in the only way I knew how. I locked the apartment and turned the key on the world. The living room light hummed like a small sun. I changed in the bedroom with hands that were less steady than I remembered. The dress slid up and down my thighs with a softness that made me gasp. Shoes that I would never wear out in daylight clicked on tile and then on carpet. I practiced walking, first awkward then more sure with every step. My body learned a different grammar. It was not just the clothes. It was the ritual of touching up. Foundation feeling would grain under my palm, the stubbornness of a stray hair refusing a clip. I stood in front of the mirror and did things to my face I had only done for myself in the thick of the night. I spoke in a quieter voice, a voice that sounded like a woman I might be or might never be. I told her small secrets under my breath like confessions to a friend. The apartment softened around me. The candlelight made my face look kind. For the first time in a long time I could breathe without monitoring the sound. But secrets are fragile and silence is loud. In the next room a vase stood like a sentinel. The sound of wind through the blinds felt suddenly like an audience. Something petty and ridiculous occurred to me. I should have folded the dress and put it away. I should have returned to the neatly ironed shirts and the man who knows how to be ordinary. Instead, I slipped into Isabella's heels and walked across the living room and then back again. Each step was a small rebellion. When I heard the knock at the door, I thought at first it was a dream. Nights like this have a tendency to invent consequence. The knock was 3 sharp cadences. Not the neighbor's pattern, not the delivery guy's ragged knock. My heart squeezed something inside me that had not been touched in years. The door between my worlds felt impossibly thin. I could change back, but the idea of it felt like betrayal. What would I lose if I turned the key and hid the dress in the closet? What would I lose if I let whatever waited at the door see me this way? Isabella's laugh had not yet faded from the hallway, and the city was still writing itself in headlights. The knock came again, louder. For a second the room turned cold and the dress felt heavy. I looked at my reflection and then at the door as if the mirror might give me an answer. The apartment no longer felt like a safe house. It felt like a stage with an audience arriving. This story is not about shame or acceptance alone. It is about the moment where a choice becomes unavoidable. It is about a man who thought he could keep his nights small and secret, and then discovered an outfit that rearranged everything he believed he could control. Isabella loves me with conditions I have not fully met yet. I love her with a map of truths I have not yet unfolded. The next hours will test the thin seams I have sewn between my lives. Outside the door the world continued without pause. Inside I stood on the edge of a decision. The outfit rested on my skin and the mirror reflected 2 halves of a life. What happens next will not be tidy. It will not be polite. It will be loud enough to wake the parts of me I have kept asleep. I stayed where I was and waited because I needed to see what the knock meant. The dress hugged me like truth and the city hummed like a question. I wasn't supposed to open the box that night. It had been sitting in my closet for weeks, quiet, untouched, hidden behind old jackets and dusty winter coats like a secret waiting to breathe. I told myself I'd return it. I told myself it was a mistake buying it. I told myself it didn't belong to my life, my identity, my relationship, my world. But something inside me whispered differently. Not loudly. Not proudly. Just softly enough to make me curious. It started with a small thought. Then that thought became a pull. And that pull became a need I could no longer ignore. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was loneliness. Or maybe it was the slow, silent way the world felt heavier every day. Like I was carrying something inside me that no longer fit in my own skin. Whatever it was. That night, the whisper grew louder. And I listened. I took the box out with trembling hands. It was light. Too light for how heavy my heart felt when I held it. The cardboard edges brushed against my fingers, sending a tremor down my spine. My breath caught as I lifted the lid. The dress was the first thing I saw. A deep, midnight blue dress, soft as water, smooth as a sigh. It shimmered when I touched it, almost like it lit up from within. The fabric slid through my fingers like something alive, something calling to a version of me I had always been too afraid to acknowledge. Then came the heels. Black, sharp, tall, beautiful. Heels weren't supposed to be beautiful to me. Not according to the rules I grew up with. Not according to society. Not according to the expectations I pretended to follow. But tonight, they were perfect. And then the wig. A soft cascade of dark brown curls, styled like Isabella's but gentler, more innocent, more me but not me at the same time. One stroke across its silky strands made my breath hitch. I stepped back. The box felt like a doorway. One that would close behind me the moment I stepped in. My chest tightened. My heart raced. My hands shook. "Aaron," I whispered to myself, "just try it. No one will know. But someone would know. Me." I lifted the dress. The fabric fell like a sigh. And that's when I felt it. A spark. A moment. A quiet truth that had always been there. I slipped out of my clothes. My hands were cold. My breath uneven. But the moment the dress touched my skin, the world changed. It didn't feel wrong. It didn't feel like pretending. It felt like finally breathing. The straps settled on my shoulders, gentle as fingertips. The fabric hugged my waist like it recognized me. The skirt brushed against my thighs. A soft, electric whisper that made my knees weaken. I walked to the mirror. I wasn't prepared. The person staring back at me wasn't Aaron. Not fully. Something softer looked back. Something scared, yes, terrified even, but alive in a way I had never allowed myself to be. I lifted the wig and placed it on my head. The effect was instant. My face transformed. My eyes looked different, deeper, curious. My jaw softened under the curls, my shoulders looked narrower, my body language shifting without permission. It felt wrong to stare. It felt wrong to look away. Then came the makeup. Just mascara at first. Trembling strokes that made my lashes long, fragile, trembling like the person I saw in the mirror. Then lipstick. A soft crimson that made my lips look strangely right. The transformation wasn't perfect. But it wasn't supposed to be. It was real. And for the first time in my life. So was I. I didn't hear the first knock. I was too lost staring at the mirror, frozen by the most confusing, terrifying rush of emotions. Fear, excitement, shame, relief, swirling together like a storm I couldn't name. The second knock snapped me back. Tuck, tuck, tuck. My entire body stiffened. Not Isabella. She never knocked. My blood turned to ice. I tiptoed toward the door, every step an explosion of sound in my ears. The heels felt too loud. The dress felt too alive. My heartbeat felt like a confession. Who could it be? I pressed my ear to the door. Silence. Then, Aaron? Are you there? My heart stopped. A man's voice. Come. Soft. Certain. How did he know my name? My breath shook. The mascara felt heavy on my lashes. The lipstick suddenly felt too bold. I didn't answer. Aaron, the voice continued, I need to speak with you. It's important. Important? Nothing important came from a stranger knocking at your door while you wore a dress you weren't supposed to own. I stepped back. Fear crawled up my throat. Hot. Suffocating. I looked down at myself. The heels, the silky dress, the red lips, the wig framing my face. I wasn't ready for anyone to see me like this. Especially not a stranger. The knock came again. Softer. Patient. Aaron. Please open the door. Just for a moment. No. No, no, no. I backed away so fast my heel slipped on the carpet. I caught myself on the door frame, breath trembling. The mirror across the hall caught my reflection again. This version of me, this fragile, trembling, beautiful stranger, looked absolutely terrified. And then, the doorknob twitched. My heart punched my ribs. Someone tried to open the door. But it was locked. Thank God. Footsteps shifted. A sigh escaped the stranger. A quiet mumble I couldn't decipher. Then, I'll come back. But you need to talk to me. Before she finds out. She. My heart froze. Who was she? Isabella? Someone else? Someone who already knew my secret before I even had the chance to understand it? My phone buzzed. My hands shook as I picked it up. A message from Isabella. Babe, I'm coming home early. I missed you. My blood drained. Not now. Not tonight. Not like this. She continued. I'm already close. Just 10 minutes away. I staggered backward. The room spun. The walls felt too close. I raced to the mirror, tearing the wig off, my hair flattening with sweat. Mascara smudged under my eyes. Lipstick smeared across my mouth. I looked like a confession waiting to be discovered. And suddenly, desperation took over. I clawed at the zipper of the dress. But it jammed halfway down. No, 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 please. I tugged harder. The fabric strained. The dress tightened. My breath broke. Come on, come on. Then, knock. This time, the knock wasn't from outside the apartment door. It came from inside the bedroom doorway. Behind me. I whipped around, heart slamming. But no one was there. Just silence. And the cold realization. The sound wasn't a knock. It was my phone falling onto the floor. I grabbed it. A new message. Not from Isabella. From an unknown number. Don't try to hide it. It's too late for that. My throat closed. Who was this? The man at the door? Someone watching? Someone who knew my secret more intimately than I did? Another message came instantly. She's almost there. You need to decide who you are before she walks in. Terror ripped through me. Not because of the dress. Not because of the makeup. Not because of the heels. But because a stranger knew the truth I had never spoken aloud. I stumbled forward, grabbing onto the dresser, panting. My reflection stared back at me. Half Aaron. Half someone else. Someone breaking free. Someone I didn't have a name for yet. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside the apartment. Isabella. She was here. My heart dropped. I had seconds. My phone buzzed again. Isabella. I'm at the door. Unlock it. A shiver tore through me. She never asked me to unlock the door. Never. Unless she was scared. Or suspicious. Or warned. My fingers touched the front door handle. The dress clung to my shaking chest. Behind me. The mirror reflected the truth I wasn't ready to show. Another message flashed. Unknown. Whatever happens next, don't lie to her. My breath shattered. What did they know? What were they planning? Why tonight? And who was watching me? My hand closed around the door handle. I turned it and opened the door. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face. The way he looked at me in school today. Not like a joke, not like a dare, not like a prank. He looked at me as if I was a girl he genuinely couldn't resist. And the scariest part? A part of me didn't hate it. I pressed my palms against my burning cheeks, trying to shake that thought away, but his voice kept echoing. You're beautiful. I had heard the word 1,000 times in movies, but today it felt dangerous, real, like it could flip my entire life upside down. The morning that changed everything. I tried to dress normally for school. Baggy jeans. Hoodie. The usual. But the moment I looked in the mirror, something felt wrong. My reflection didn't match the image stuck in his eyes last night. That version of me, the girl version, was still lingering like a ghost around me. My breathing hitched. Stop thinking about it, I muttered, shaking my head. But the effects of yesterday wouldn't disappear that easily. Because when I reached school, he was waiting for me. Not accidentally. Deliberately. As if he knew exactly what time I would arrive. He leaned against the wall, hands in pockets, eyes searching the crowd, and the moment they fell on me, something changed in his expression. A softness. A warmth. A recognition. Hey, he said, walking towards me. My heart tripped. Why was he coming closer? He wasn't supposed to. We weren't supposed to. Why are you looking for me? I asked, voice cracking. His eyes didn't drift even for a moment. Because I wanted to see you. My throat locked. No. No, no, no. He couldn't say it like that. Not with that tone. Not with those eyes. I stepped back, panic rising. He stepped forward. Did I do something wrong? He asked. Yesterday, I said instinctively. You saw me because of a dare. He raised an eyebrow. Dare? You mean, that wasn't really you? I froze. I could lie. I should lie. But before I could form an excuse, he spoke again, lowering his voice. You looked happy yesterday. Happy? Did I? My mind replayed the moment. The dress, the hair, the makeup, the strange freedom I felt, the thrill of being seen differently. I swallowed. I wasn't happy, I lied. He didn't buy it. His lips curved into a faint smirk. Not mocking. Confident, knowing. You don't have to pretend, he said quietly. I notice things others don't. My chest tightened. Why was he doing this? Why was he saying things that made my heart pound in ways I didn't understand? I turned to walk away. But he grabbed my wrist. Gently. Meet me after school, he whispered. I need to talk to you. Alone. My voice came out weak. Why? His gaze softened. Because I think I like you. I couldn't breathe. My world stopped. He liked. Who? Me. Or the girl he thought I was. A wave of panic surged through me. Hot and choking. I pulled my wrist away and almost ran inside. The whole day blurred. Teachers talked. Students laughed. But all I heard was my own heartbeat slamming against my ribs. He liked me. But he didn't even know the truth. And worse. A tiny whisper inside me said, what if you liked the way he looked at you? After school. The meeting I couldn't escape. I tried to leave quickly. Sneak out. Disappear. But he found me. Of course he did. He walked up, hands deep in his jacket pockets, nervousness flickering in his eyes for the first time. "Thank you for coming," he said softly. "I didn't." He cut me off gently. "I've been thinking about you since yesterday." My pulse jumped. "About how you looked, how you smiled, how you seemed free." I froze. He stepped closer, voice trembling. "I don't want to embarrass you. I just want to understand." I swallowed. "Understand what?" "You," he said. "Who you really are." My mouth dried. I should tell him the truth. I should end this. I should break the illusion before it became something I couldn't escape. But when I looked into his eyes, I couldn't. He wasn't mocking me. He wasn't confused. He wasn't disgusted. He was scared, curious, hopeful, as if he desperately wanted me to be the girl he saw yesterday. "Can I ask you something?" he whispered. My heartbeat was loud in my ears. He stepped closer, so close I could feel his breath on my skin. "When I looked at you yesterday," he said, "I felt something I've never felt before." My hands trembled. "It wasn't because of the clothes," he continued. "It was because of the way you looked at me." My throat tightened. He was talking about the moment our eyes met in the mirror. The moment I didn't break character. Didn't run. Didn't reject his gaze. "You weren't pretending," he said softly. "You meant it." "I didn't," I whispered, shaking my head. He leaned even closer. "Then look at me now. The same way you looked at me yesterday." My breath caught. I couldn't. I shouldn't. It would ruin everything. But something inside me broke, or awakened, and I raised my eyes to meet his. He inhaled sharply. "That's the look," he whispered. "That's her." Her. Not him. Not me. Her. The word hit me like a lightning bolt. I turned away, shaking. "You're wrong," I whispered. But he gently placed a hand near my cheek, not touching, just close enough that I felt the heat of his palm. "I'm not wrong," he murmured. "You can hide from the world, but not from me." I stepped back, heart racing uncontrollably. "I can't do this," I blurted out. "Why?" he asked. I stared at the ground, unable to speak. "Because I'm not a girl. Because this is all a mistake. Because you're falling for someone who doesn't exist." But the words wouldn't come. Because deep inside, I wasn't sure they were true anymore. The confession he should never have made. He took a shaky breath. "I didn't sleep last night," he admitted. "I kept replaying everything you did. Everything you were." I blinked. "You shouldn't." "I couldn't stop," he interrupted. "Because, for the first time in my life, someone made me feel something real." My chest tightened painfully. "And I don't care what others think," he added. "I just need to know one thing." He stepped dangerously close again. "Was yesterday the real you? Or was it an act?" My lips parted. Words sat heavily on my tongue. If I say yes, my entire life changes. If I say no, I lose something I didn't fully understand but was already terrified of losing. My voice broke. He waited. Eyes full of hope, fear, longing. "I don't know," I whispered finally. He exhaled shakily, but didn't step away. "That's enough," he murmured. "For now. For now." I echoed. He nodded. "Because I want to see her again." My breath hitched. "I can't." "You can," he said softly. "I'll help you. If you let me." My secret. My fear. My desire. The moment he said those words, my knees weakened. He'd help me? Why? Because he wanted to see the girl version of me? Because he was attracted to her? Because he thought she was real? Or because something in me responded to him in a way I couldn't admit? My throat tightened. "This is wrong," I whispered. He shook his head. "What's wrong," he said, "is hiding who you are." I stared at him, heart pounding in my chest. "You don't know who I am," I said weakly. He gave a small, heartbreaking smile. "I know enough," he whispered. "And I want to know more." The breaking point? Or the beginning? I should walk away. I knew I should. But my feet didn't move. My fear didn't push me. Instead, something else pulled me. Curiosity. Desire. The way he looked at me like I was someone worth chasing. "Please," he said softly. "Let me see her." My breath trembled. "I don't know if I can," I whispered. He offered his hand. Not forcefully, but gently like an invitation. "You won't be alone," he said. "I'll be with you. Every step." Something inside me cracked. Something I had been holding tight for years. Slowly, without thinking, I placed my hand in his. His fingers closed around mine, warm and steady. And in that moment, I wasn't sure who I was anymore. But I knew one thing. He truly believed I was a girl. And for the first time, a part of me wanted him to keep believing. The world didn't end with a scream. It ended with a whisper. A whisper of my name. "Aaron?" Floating from the other side of the door. My blood froze. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a neighbor. It wasn't a delivery guy. It was Isabella. Isabella, my girlfriend, who was supposed to be out with friends. Who should not be here. Who should not be calling my name in that tone. Suspicious. Sharp. Confused. I felt the dress tighten around my body like it sensed danger. The heels I wore suddenly weren't part of a fantasy. They were evidence. Evidence that could destroy everything. I didn't move. Couldn't move. My legs were jelly and stone at the same time. Another knock. Harder this time. "Aaron, open the door. I know you're inside." She sounded irritated, but underneath it, there was something else. Fear. Suspicion? Or worse, certainty? My heartbeat became a weapon. Each thud a violent blow. This wasn't how tonight was supposed to go. This was supposed to be my night. My secret world. My private escape. And now the two worlds were colliding. Crashing. Violently merging into one. I took one slow step toward the door. My heels clicking on the floor. A delicate, damning sound. Click. Her voice sharpened instantly. "Why do I hear heels?" I flinched as if she had slapped me through the door. I didn't answer. Couldn't. "Aaron. Open the door." Her tone sliced through the air. The mirror behind me reflected a person who wasn't ready for this. My makeup was perfect. Too perfect. My hair fell against my shoulders in soft waves. The navy dress hugged my curves. I looked like a woman. Not a mistake. Not a costume. A woman. And that woman, me, was seconds away from being exposed. I reached for the doorknob. My hand trembled. Should I open the door? Should I run to the bedroom and tear everything off? Should I pretend lie hide? But lies have a strange smell. And Isabella always detected them. I took a breath. My hand touched the cold metal of the knob. And the door swung open before I turned it. Isabella. Standing there. Eyes wide. Hair messy from the wind. Breaths sharp. Heart pounding so loud I could hear it. She didn't blink. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. Her gaze traveled. From my face. To my lipstick. To my neckline. To the dress. Down my legs. Down the heels. And then back up. Her lips parted. Not in anger. Not in disgust. But in shock so deep it drained all color from her face. "What are you wearing?" Her voice cracked. I stepped back. My knees wobbled. "Isabella." I whispered. But she lifted a hand. Silencing me. "No. Don't say anything yet." Her eyes scanned me again. Slower this time. Not casual. Not curious. She was analyzing me. Seeing me. Truly seeing me. Not her boyfriend. Not the man she loved. Not the person she thought she knew. But the woman in front of her. Her breathing grew uneven. "Is this real?" she asked softly. "Tell me this isn't a joke. Tell me this isn't some prank. Tell me I didn't just walk in on." Her voice cracked again. Something inside me broke. I took a shaky step forward. "Isabella, please. Don't come closer." Her shout hit me in the chest. My heel slipped. I almost fell. But I caught myself on the wall. The silence that followed was suffocating. Her eyes glittered with something I couldn't name. Fear? Disbelief? Betrayal? How long? She whispered. I didn't answer. She swallowed. A month? A year? Our entire relationship? Tell me, Aaron, how long have you been dressing like this? The truth sat heavy on my tongue. Since before we met. I confessed. Her face crumpled. She pressed her fingers to her lips. Oh my God. She whispered. You've been lying to me from the beginning. No, Isabella, it wasn't like that. Then what was it? She snapped. Her voice echoed through the apartment. You look. She exhaled, shaking her head. You look like a completely different person. I flinched. Not because she said it, but because she said it like it was a crime. She stepped inside the apartment, closing the door behind her. Her eyes cooled. Turn around, she said suddenly. My stomach dropped. What? Turn around. Her tone left no room for questions. I slowly turned, heels wobbling beneath me. My dress brushing my thighs like a secret that no longer belonged to me. She circled me. Walked around me like I was something fragile and dangerous. Her breath brushed my shoulder. Is this who you are? She asked quietly. Are you a her? I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. I didn't speak. She stepped in front of me, face inches from mine. Look at me, she whispered. I lifted my eyes. Her gaze was sharp enough to cut. You're scared, she murmured. I can see it. Your hands are shaking. I looked down. They were. She exhaled. Why didn't you tell me? Her voice softened in the worst way. The kind of softness that hides collapse. I thought you'd leave. I whispered. Tears gathered in her eyes. So you lied to me instead. She shook her head. God, Aaron. She moved past me, toward the bedroom. Panic stabbed through me. Isabella, wait. I ran after her, heels slipping on the floor. But she reached the bedroom first. And then she froze. Because the closet door was open. And inside, my entire secret life stared back at her. Dresses, wigs, shoes, makeup, perfume, jewelry, everything. Everything I had hidden. Everything I had been. Her breath hitched. Oh my God. She whispered. I stepped behind her, trembling. Isabella, please. Don't. She raised a hand again. This. She pointed at the clothes. This is not small. This is not a phase. This is not something you accidentally forgot to tell me. She turned to me. This is a whole identity. Her voice cracked. Tell me the truth, Aaron. Do you even want to be my boyfriend? Or have you been pretending to be someone you're not just to keep me around? My throat closed. Isabella, I never wanted to lose you. She stared at me. Long. Hard. Searching for an answer I didn't know how to give. Say something, I whispered. Anything. She shook her head. I don't know what to say. Her voice trembled. I don't even know who I'm talking to. My chest tightened so painfully I almost collapsed. I reached for her hand, but she stepped back. Aaron, I need a minute, she whispered. I need to think. My breath stuttered. Are you leaving? She looked at me with heartbreak in her eyes. I don't know. Her voice was barely louder than a breath. I don't know anything anymore. She moved toward the door. Slowly. Mechanically. As if walking through water. Please. I whispered. She didn't turn around. Don't follow me. The door closed behind her. Click. Silence. I stood in the middle of the bedroom. Heels trembling under my weight. Lipstick smudged with fear. Dress clinging to a body that suddenly felt like a stranger's. My reflection stared back at me. Not Aaron. Not the man I had always been. Not the boyfriend Isabella thought she loved. But her. The woman in the mirror. The one I had never dared to show the world. Now she stood exposed. Alone. Terrified. My world. My secret. My identity. My relationship. My future. Was hanging by a thread. And that thread had just snapped. The silence after Isabella left wasn't just quiet. It was punishment. It echoed. It swallowed the room. It pressed into my ribs like cold fingers tightening around my lungs. I stood there, still dressed as her. The version of myself I had always kept hidden. The version Isabella had never been meant to see like this. The version I had protected from the world for years. Now exposed. The heels beneath me suddenly felt unbearable. My chest tightened so painfully I wanted to scream. I walked to the mirror slowly, as if approaching my own ghost. My reflection stared back. Smudged lipstick, wide eyes, tear lines cutting through foundation, hair shaking from fear, and a dress that clung to every part of me. A dress that no longer felt beautiful. It felt like evidence. A confession I never spoke. A truth I didn't know how to live with. I leaned my forehead against the mirror. What have I done? My voice cracked like thin ice. Because the truth wasn't just about her walking in. It wasn't just about her seeing me. It was about the moment. The one split second. When she looked at me. Not with disgust. Not with anger. But with heartbreak. I could handle anger. I could survive yelling, fights, accusations. But heartbreak? That destroyed me. I peeled myself away from the mirror and sank onto the bed, my heels dangling helplessly off my feet. My hands trembled as I reached for my phone. One message. One call. One explanation. One chance. But the screen was empty. No messages. No missed calls. Nothing. She hadn't written. She hadn't asked if I was okay. She hadn't said she'd be back. That silence cut deeper than anything else. My thumb hovered over her name. My heart screamed at me to call. My mind whispered that calling would push her even further away. I put the phone down. Barely a second later, the front door clicked. My breath froze. Was it her? Did she forget something? Was she coming back to talk? Erin. A voice that wasn't Isabella's drifted in. No, 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 no. Why now? I scrambled off the bed, heels nearly twisting my ankles as I staggered. My dress swished against my legs, loud enough to give me away. Erin? You in here? The voice grew closer. It was Daniel. My neighbor. My nosy, overly friendly, never stops visiting neighbor. The one person who absolutely could not see me like this. He knocked lightly. Hey man, your door was a little open. You okay? Open. My head snapped toward the entrance. The door wasn't shut properly. When Isabella left in shock, she hadn't closed it all the way. I panicked. Don't come in. I shouted. Too late. Daniel stepped inside and froze like someone had ripped the oxygen out of his lungs. His eyes widened. His mouth parted. His body stiffened. What the hell? I grabbed the nearest blanket and tried to cover myself, but the dress strap slipped down my shoulder. The heel twisted under my foot. I stumbled, and the wig slid halfway off. A humiliating, horrifying slide. Daniel blinked hard. Wait, are you? Erin. My throat closed. Daniel, please just leave. He stared at me like I was a puzzle he never expected to solve. Oh my God. He whispered. You're wearing. Are you? What is this? I backed into the wall so hard the frames rattled. It's not what it looks like. He laughed. Actually laughed. You look like, dude, are you dressed like a chick? I flinched. My eyes burned with humiliation. Daniel. Stop. Please. He took a step closer. Holy shit. This is insane. Isabella should see this. Don't you dare. I snapped, voice breaking. He froze at the tone. I realized what he was thinking before he spoke. So, this is why she stormed out a few minutes ago? My blood turned cold. She passed him? She went out crying? Did he see her face? Did he know? Daniel, please leave, I whispered, voice shaking. I can't. I don't want, just go. He opened his mouth, probably to say something stupid, but he didn't get the chance. Because at that exact moment, Isabella walked back in, holding her keys, eyes swollen from crying, breath uneven. She froze when she saw Daniel. Daniel turned. Oh, Isabella. Hey. So I just. Her eyes slid past him. To me. standing there in a half-slipped wig, tear-stained makeup, a wrinkled dress, and shaking heels. Daniel looked between us. "Oh shit. I'll go." He bolted out the door. And then it was just us again. Silence fell so heavy it crushed my lungs. Isabella stepped forward. Slowly, softly, her eyes never leaving mine. This time she wasn't angry. She wasn't shouting. She wasn't panicking. This time, she looked like she had finally understood something. And that terrified me more than anything else. She stopped 2 feet away. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Is this who you really are?" I swallowed hard. "I don't know," I whispered. "I've been afraid to figure it out." She closed her eyes. A tear fell down her cheek. "You should have told me." Her voice cracked. "I would have. I don't know. Maybe I would have helped. Maybe I would have listened." My heart twisted. "I thought you'd hate me." She shook her head slowly. "I don't hate you." She wiped her cheek. "But I don't know how to handle this. And seeing Daniel, seeing you so scared, it made me realize something." My breath caught. "What?" She took 1 step closer. "You've been living in fear your whole life. Hiding from everyone. Hiding from me. Hiding from yourself." Her voice softened. "I don't want to be someone you hide from." My vision blurred with tears. "Isabella." "But I can't promise anything yet," she whispered. "I'm confused. I'm hurting. I feel betrayed. But I'm also scared for you. Because it looks like you've been scared for years." Her fingers drifted toward the wig strap hanging loose on my shoulder. But she didn't touch it. "Look at you." Her voice cracked again. "You're shaking." I nodded, unable to speak. For a long moment, she just watched me. Not judging. Not accusing. Just seeing me. Really seeing me. Then, she stepped back. Her voice lowered to a soft, cautious whisper. "I need time, Erin. But I'm not walking away. Not yet. Not until I understand." A sob slipped out of me. She moved toward the door. "But right now we can't talk. Not like this. Not while you're dressed. And scared. And falling apart." She opened the door halfway. Before leaving, she turned her head slightly. Eyes filled with pain, confusion, and something almost like compassion. "Change out of the outfit," she whispered. "We'll talk when you're ready." Then she stepped outside. The door clicked shut. And once again, I was standing alone. In a dress that felt heavier than chains. Wearing heels that suddenly couldn't hold me up. With a secret that refused to stay hidden. My world wasn't broken. Not yet. But it was hanging. Hanging. Hanging by a thread. And that thread was fraying. Faster than I could catch it. His breath touched my neck. And for a second, I felt the world freeze. "Say it," he whispered again. "Say you're my girl." My heart was hammering so violently I thought he could hear it. My lips were trembling, my voice locked in my throat, and the truth, the real dangerous truth, burned behind my teeth. Before I could answer, the door behind us burst open. "Hey! What's going on here?" I flinched so hard I nearly slipped from his arms. He tightened his grip instantly. Protective, possessive, territorial. I turned my head slowly. It was his older cousin, the one who always watched him like a hawk. The one person who never believed anything easily. And the moment his eyes landed on me, my lipstick, my lashes, my hair falling over my shoulders, his jaw dropped. But not in shock. In recognition. "I've seen you before," he said slowly. His eyes narrowed. He stepped closer. He studied my face like a detective studying a crime scene. My stomach dropped. My breath disappeared. He knew. He knew. He took another step toward me. "Where do I know you from?" He tilted his head, then suddenly snapped his fingers. "Wait, aren't you?" Before he could finish the sentence, he grabbed my wrist. Hard. "You're not a girl." His voice was cold, low, slicing the air like a blade. My blood turned to ice. But before I could speak, before my lips could even part, he shoved him away from me. His voice roared through the room. "Don't touch her." His cousin laughed darkly. "You idiot." "Her? You really think she's a girl? He stepped closer again, pointing at me like he had just exposed a criminal. Look at the jaw. Look at the neck. Look at the hands. She's not. Crack. His fist connected with his cousin's face so fast I didn't even see the swing. Blood sprayed. His cousin fell back, crashing into the table. I gasped, covering my mouth. And he turned to me, his eyes burning with something wild, something dangerous, something unshakable. Don't listen to him, he said, his chest rising with anger. You're mine. I know what I see. I know who you are. You're my girl. My knees nearly buckled. No one had ever defended me like that. But the nightmare wasn't over. His cousin wiped the blood off his lip and hissed. I'm telling everyone. I'm exposing him and you. He grabbed his phone, opened the camera, pointed it straight at me. My heart exploded in panic. My secret, my identity, everything I had kept hidden. One picture, one post, and my life would be destroyed. I whispered, please stop. But he didn't. He smiled and pressed record. Then he moved. So fast my vision blurred. He slammed his cousin against the wall, grabbing the phone out of his hand, smashing it onto the floor. Glass shattered everywhere. His voice was deeper than I had ever heard, almost shaking with fury. You will never hurt her. His cousin spat blood again and growled. You're insane. You're going crazy over him. Another punch. Harder. Brutal. I cried out. Stop. Please. He froze. He turned his head toward me. And the anger faded, replaced with something else. Fear. He stepped back from his cousin, chest heaving, fists bleeding. Then he looked at me like I was the only thing holding him to reality. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm sorry you had to see that. I can't lose you. I can't let anyone take you away from me. I swallowed, trembling. Why are you doing all this? He stepped closer. Slowly. Carefully. He cupped my cheek with his bruised knuckles. His voice dropped to a whisper so soft I barely heard it. Because I love you. He paused. And I don't care who you were. I only care about who you are. Right now. My breath caught. No one had ever said those words to me. Not like that. Not with that kind of fire. But before I could reply, before I could say anything, his cousin pointed a shaking finger at us. This isn't over. His voice cracked. You're both finished. And he limped out of the room. The door slammed. I stared at the empty doorway. My entire world collapsing and rebuilding in 1 second. He exhaled, long and shaky, then grabbed my shoulders gently. Look at me, he whispered. I did. His eyes, dark, tense, desperate, locked onto mine. No matter what he does, I'm not letting you go. Not now. Not ever. I stood frozen, breath trembling, knees weak. He slowly lowered his bruised fists, staring at the shattered phone pieces scattered across the floor. For a moment, we both thought the danger had walked away. But then, bzzzzzzzt. A vibration. On the floor. Not from the smashed phone. Not from anything in the room. But from his cousin's pocket. He bent down. Pulled out another phone. A backup. His stomach dropped. Wait, he whispered. He opened it. And the screen lit up with a notification. Uploaded. 1 new video. Public. 1 minute ago. My entire body went cold. He tapped it. The video opened. And there, in perfect, clear recording, was me. My face. My voice. My hair. My dress. And then, the cousin's voice in the background. Look closely. This girl is actually. The video cut off. Posted. Already online. Already spreading. Already unstoppable. My heartbeat collapsed in my chest. No. I choked. No, he didn't. He couldn't. He grabbed my hand tightly. His voice broke as he whispered. Don't panic. Don't cry. I'll fix this. I swear I'll fix this. But the fear hit me harder than any punch in that room. My secret. My identity. Everything I tried to hide. Everything he tried to protect. Gone. Exposed. And before I could breathe, before I could even think, his phone lit up too. 100 plus missed calls. 27 new messages. 3 voicemails. All from different people. Friends. Family. Strangers. Each previewed message said a variation of the same terrifying thing. Bro, is this true? Who is that? Why is he dressed like a girl? Explain now. What the hell did your cousin post? My chest tightened until I could barely stand. He squeezed my hand harder. Listen to me. Listen. But then, thud, thud, thud. Loud knocks. Heavy. Violent. Someone pounding on the door. His head snapped toward it. My heart stopped altogether. From the other side, a low voice growled. Open the door. Right now. We both froze. I whispered, barely audible. Who is that? He swallowed. His voice trembled for the first time since we met. That's my father. And the knocking got louder. Thud. 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 Each hit like it would break the door off its hinges. We stared at each other. Breathless. Terrified. No escape. And as the door handles slowly began to turn, as the sound of metal scraping filled the silence, he whispered the final words before everything exploded. Whatever happens next, don't let go of me. The door burst open. And the screen went black.